chess in India is flourishing. The players, be it the cadets, the juniors, the seniors, everybody is doing so well on the international stage and in the domestic stage. But as always, when a sport is doing well, India's federations always drag it down. And it is no surprise that the All India Chess Federation is now caught up in a major scandal at this point in time. Because according to a report that was done in Rediff, AICF, the All India Chess Federation, did not utilize 3.12 crores out of the central government's allocation of 5.2 crores during FY25. So far in the financial year, 5.2 crores was allocated to the AICF. 3.12 crores was just not utilized. And what is even worse, AICF did not return the unutilized sum. Now, this is going to lead into a blowback. Now, why this is happening? Because there is an internal power tussle that is going on in the AICF. And because of this power tussle, your World Cup is not going to happen in Delhi. It will happen somewhere else in India. Where it's going to happen, the dates haven't been announced yet at this point, neither has been the venue. So pretty much sure October, November, the dates are there, but the venue will not be Delhi. What's going to happen because of this? How does it hurt the growth of chess in India? Primarily, allocation for financial year 2026 will go down to match the sum expended the previous year. So, there is a possibility that AICF will get only 1 or 2 crores because the rest of the amount has just been underutilized. It's just not been done. Now, how does the funding procedure and the system work in India? Apparently, if you have to look at how does the system work, government increases allocation by about 10% based on previous year's spend. How much ever you spent last year, for example, you spent 1 crore, you will get a 10% increment. The allocation will go up by 10%. But in this case, because you have underutilized so much, AICF is set for a major cash crunch in 2026. And because of that, where does the funding come from and what does the funding do? Basically, when you have to look at NSFs, what do they do? It's given for training, participating in international events, conduct of national championships and international tournaments in India, and hiring foreign coach and others. Somewhere down the line, when you look at NSFs, if your budget allocation is over 20 crores, automatically you will get a high performance director. But chess doesn't operate in this way. You have to understand that very few chess tournaments and very few chess events are based for the AICF. It is not dependent on the AICF for funds. That is why when you look at Praggnanandhaa, when you look at Gukesh, when you look at Divya, they all have private sponsors as well. So by that sponsorship, their hotel, their travel, their allocation for the hiring of the seconds, everything is done in that. Now, there were NSF changes that were implemented in May 2025, in which it was said NSFs must utilize 20% of their annual budget for grassroots development through their affiliate units. So, AICF, if they have a Bihar unit, if they have a Delhi unit, if they have a Chennai unit, they have to utilize that 20% budget on grassroots levels. And 10% of funding provided under the scheme will be allocated for the development of coaches and technical staff. Apparently, none has been done. None has been done by the AICF, and that is why how it is going to hurt India. Because the blunder that the AICF has done is in that entire 5 crore budget that they had, did not hold camps or any tournaments for players across all age groups. Some token 1, 2, 3 camps may have been held, but for all age groups, nothing was held. Although once or twice in school events, they did do it, but it was not enough. No funding of young talent for overseas experience and no spread of games in remote areas. Chennai, Kolkata, Bengaluru, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Delhi to a certain extent. Has chess grown inland? No. UP, Haryana, Bihar, Northeast, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, where it has grown? It hasn't grown at all. The AICF have not ensured that it grows. Now, with the small utilization of those funds, they could have done something, but no, they couldn't do it. And because of that, you are not only going to have a blowback in 2025, you will have a blowback in 2026 where the funds will be utilized even further. Now, when people will say, oh, there is a fund crunch, we can't grow, we can't develop, this is where private enterprises will have to step in and ensure that the player doesn't go away. But a player getting private sponsorship is dependent on the success. Gukesh achieved success, Praggnanandhaa achieved success, Arjun Erigaisi is achieving success, so is Divya Deshmukh, Koneru Hampi, Harika Dronavalli and all. But chess is a very, very expensive sport because for traveling, logistics, stay, hiring of your seconds, you need to pay your own from your own pocket. This is where private sponsorships comes in. AICF plays a very, very small role, like what they did in the candidates when they gave an extra 1 crore in 2024. So that is where AICF have made a massive blunder. Can they overcome that? Will the government have a second thought? Underutilized funds, just where has it gone? Why couldn't you have developed the game even further? These are tough questions that the AICF will have to answer at this point in time. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.